our position as rulers and things is going to be abolished. And of course this brought incredible fear. Remember, they feared him, into the minds and the hearts of these religious people. So let's see what Jesus says. What he says. They took him and killed him and took him outside the vineyard. Jesus was crucified outside Jerusalem at Golgotha, or Calvary, the place called the Skull. And we'll get to that later. Because they didn't want to lose the position they had, and so much corruption inside leaderships and churches, and it's not on purpose, as it were. It's because of the possibility of losing a title or a position, and the wealth and the popularity that comes with that. It was more important for the Pharisees and the Sadducees to maintain their position than to accept that the Lord Jesus Christ may have been the Messiah, may be the Messiah. Now the problem for the Pharisees and Sadducees is, if this is going to be the case, Jesus said, what will the owner of the vineyard do? Well, he'll come and destroy the vine dressers and give the vineyard to others. Now, I believe myself personally that this is talking about Armageddon, because Israel's going to be almost destroyed in Armageddon. But in the meantime, he said, the vineyard will be given to others. And I believe that's the inception of the Gentiles being adopted into the plan of God through the finished work of the Lord Jesus Christ. These are all the people going to Sydney to work. Overcast today too. Predators like getting under the cover of the clouds and ambushing their prey. For anybody that's into the wildlife at all. Then the Lord gets personal, and he refers this to himself, and he says, the stone which the builders rejected has become the capstone. The person that you are rejecting is the Messiah. That's what he's saying. I am the Messiah. And when you compare that statement to, and we'll go across under the bridge to the other side. When you compare this statement with everything that's going on, there were passages in the prophets. There's a beautiful pelican there, viewers. There were passages in the prophets that did explain that the Messiah would be crucified, or something horrible was going to happen to the Messiah, particularly in Isaiah 53, if I remember rightly. The chastisement for our peace is upon him, and all that other stuff that it says. We'll go around the edge of these mangroves. Now Jesus says, even though the capstone is going to be rejected and killed, this is the Lord's doing, and it will be marvelous in our eyes. This is going to this is a little bit of a preview into the cataclysmicness, the enormity, the spectacle of what the crucifixion was going to be like. Now, the problem that the Pharisees had with this was this really stirred them up. They wanted to lay hands on him, they wanted to destroy him and kill him. But the problem that they had was that they feared the multitude, because the multitudes, the crowds, were trying to grasp the fact that Christ was who he said he was, and is who he said he is. And interestingly, and lucky for Christ, this stopped the Pharisees from ending his life too soon. But it also made them more infuriated, because they couldn't act on destroying him. And when somebody's determined to destroy something and they keep getting frustrated from doing it, it will cause them to find, in fact, it causes a ferocity, it causes a desperateness for them to be able to carry out the destruction. You can see what I mean. And of course the anger and the ferocity, the fierceness, the enmity, the hostility that built up in the minds and the hearts of these Pharisees against Christ was incredible. In fact, it was so contrary to the religion which they were following that they became almost inhumane. Christ's death was an inhumane death. It wasn't a death that you would have said, well, what a nice way to go. It was inhumane, it was barbaric. And again, this shows us that that's what the law was capable of, even with its creator. And that's part of why the law was there, to help mankind get the creator on the cross. So the Pharisees aren't going to stop there. They send some specific Pharisees and Herodians to catch him in his words. And when you think about it, viewers, again, the judicial hearings of the Jehovah Witnesses, that's basically all they are. I know they're not presented that way, but really all they are is a way in which they can catch people in their words, accuse them and punish them. You very rarely hear of someone getting off light in one of these Jehovah Witness judicial meetings. And it's not specific to the Jehovah Witnesses, but they're not very forgiving people when it comes to sin and things like that. They do punish people and try and make people, convince them that they've repented, but in so many cases they can't comprehend or see the genuineness of the person. So a genuine person will be punished. And this is what Jesus abhorred. This isn't what Christianity was about. As Jesus said earlier, if you're not prepared to forgive, right, even if you're in leadership, put yourself in leadership in these cult organisations and Christian organisations, and you want to be partial to people, you want to play partiality, then guess what? You too are putting yourself in a place of unforgiveness. Now, does that mean God won't forgive you? Of course not. But what it's showing us is that you are an unforgiving person. And that's not the nature of Christianity. The nature of Christianity is to forgive and to forget. Which is easy to say, but hard to do. Now the Pharisees come to Christ, and there's that beautiful seabird and his partner, and they say, and they try and, in their shallowness, fool Christ. They come to him and they say, look, Lord, teacher, we know you teach in accordance with the truth and have no regard for man, which they put their foot in it right from the start, because he did have regard for man. He'd been healing and helping people from the very start of his ministry. And this is what they say. So now they go secular. If we can't get him with religious debates and rules, we'll get him with secular governmental rules and regulations. And so they say, what about the things of Caesar? What about, you know, the things you need to do under worldly rule? Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.